Abusive is a no-no. I don't think anyone should stay in any relationship if anyone's being any type of abusive.
Yeah.
And I hold that standard not just to myself, but also the circle around me. If you're being abusive to whoever you are with in your relationship, I will cut you off. And you know what I mean? Like I won't even talk to you anymore. I've been in a relationship for 10 years. I have two beautiful daughters, and they have never seen me, or nor have I ever raised my hand or been any type of abusive to my wife. And I think that in a relationship, that has to be a condition. There's no unconditional about abusive or, any type of really in toxicity at all.
Well, I want to touch on that actually, and I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like today I'm just like the villain. Don't you think sometimes, and again, you guys can chime in at any time, sometimes when someone says abusive, like let's say, for example, I check my girl, she'd be like, well, you were being abusive, but all I did is check bad behavior. So where do you draw the line?
Well, where's the abuse?
Well, like, let's just say I say to my girl, for example, I say, look, I don't like the way you behave. Like, can you please knock that off? But she sees that as abusive language because we all communicate differently, right? So that's the thing. I am not ever an advocate for abuse, but I'm saying we have to draw the line of what it looks like. Like, we really do. Because some people will just say, they abused me when all they did is tell you to stop doing what you were doing.
That sounds like more of a problem of you were communicating what you need, but that person just isn't, maybe is not. Let's just take the example. Okay, let's just take the example that maybe you were dating a girl and she was showing too much cleavage when you're out. You don't like that. All the guys are looking at her boobs, and so now you have to tell her. And so you told her directly, nothing wrong with that. But the problem is that you're going to have to possibly try to teach this woman who doesn't understand that you don't like that. So then that means she's maybe not dateable for you. You know what I mean? I know I kind of switched it.
No, but that's what I mean. Like,
you're totally right.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, we have to draw the line of what it looks like, because, like, again, like a lot of times, like some people, well, this person abused me when all they did is correct bad behavior.
I think I don't think there should be a spectrum of abuse. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think abuse, there's a definition of abuse. I just Googled it. And
let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
The best one I have here says cruel and violent treatments of a person or an animal, says here. Or to use something to bad effect or bad intentions or bad purpose or misuse. So what you're saying, addressing the problem, I don't think is abuse. Even saying maybe knock it off might be abrasive, like language. I don't even think that's necessarily abuse. Verbal abuse is a thing.
It is.
I think we all know what verbal abuse
is.
We
do, yeah.
But go ahead.
No, but then the question that comes to my head is then what does it mean about the person if they're saying that you're abusive for, telling them to knock it off, right? Like just to say, hey, like I don't appreciate your behavior. What does it say about that person if they're then saying that you're being abusive?
But I think that goes to, sorry, what's your name again?
It's Christelle.
That's Christelle.
And then
Jillian.
I think it goes back to what Jillian. Well, Jillian's actually said was you have to teach that person.
Does what?
You have to teach a person like how to act around you. Or,
yes.
I think that's true to a degree in the beginning of a relationship. But
yes,
I think if you're to the point where you have to say, this is abusive or what, I think at that point a relationship should be over.
Yeah.
I don't think there's no fixing or teaching.
There's no coming back from that.
Unconditional. I mean, you can if you learn from it and you come back, but you can't learn while you're being abusive. You got to let that person go. And as far as a victim of being abused, as far as me, I was abused as a child and seen it growing up. So, like, as far as like what's abuse, and I don't think there should be a spectrum, or I don't think anyone should have to deal with anyone that's abused. If life is already hard, and then you're trying to connect with someone with an affectionate relationship So see, I think about me in my relationship, I don't just love my wife, I admire her so much. And it's hard to disrespect or abuse something or someone you admire. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We can touch on that. You know what? I agree with you. When you admire somebody like your partner, I think just in your mental mind, you know that there's lines that you're not willing to cross. Like if I just like somebody, I think within that spectrum, you're gonna cross some lines. But when you have that like desire, like I know that they don't like this, I'm not gonna do it or even bring it around them.
Totally. Totally. And I think sometimes it's not just in younger relationships, but sometimes when it comes to the desire, sometimes people get together for the wrong reasons, and maybe the desire isn't there, and they're causing chaos to bring a little drama, which they think will bring a little bit of, something to the relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So desire is definitely an important thing for sure. And yes, for sure, when you have desire and respect for the person, you're just automatically going to treat them better, hands down.
Well, no, I'm really glad that I was able to have the conversation with you guys about abuse, and I'm glad that we were able to open it up because, again, and the reason why, I open the box is because, some people could be narcissistic and they might not even know that they're narcissistic, or they might have high narcissistic tendencies, and to them that might be a norm.
Until
But to
somebody says
you,
something to them.
yeah, but to you, you're like, well, you're an abusive individual. Like you're not good. But to them, they could just have a higher level of narcissism.
Yeah. Yeah. And my daughter, she has a friend right now who's in an abusive situation, and she said, "Mom, what do we do? How do we deal with this?" And I said, you do keep putting the pressure on her, and you do keep letting her know. Because sometimes when you're in that situation, because I know I was in one, and it took people to not blow smoke up my ass. They told me the truth to get out. And it took my sister saying, "Jillian, if you don't get out of that relationship, I am going to disown you. Do you understand me?" And I'm like, holy shit. This is bad. I can't let it get to the point where my family is going to disown me. So people need to stand up, and they do need to put pressure on, because it's important for that person to understand, because when they're in that toxic relationship, they're so toxically bonded emotionally to that person. It's really hard to get out until other people start letting them know it's not right. It's not right. And actually, I'm gonna walk away because I'm not gonna watch this anymore. And I never used to think, oh, is that how you deal with it? But now I do think, yeah, you do have to be, somebody from the outside has to be strong, and somebody has to step in and let them know it's wrong.
I agree with you. You speak in so many facts. And that goes to the point in the beginning of the podcast where we talk about where I really believe that everyone should work on themselves. And it's very cliche, and young people don't want to hear it, but you have to work on yourself and love yourself first, because there's people out here preying on those that are not healed, that has trauma, and that's the best way that they can survive, because they need that. They're narcissistic, they have ill intentions, and they're showing it through love and affection in a very wrong way. So
And those people count on people that don't want to work on themselves.
yes,
They count on you not doing your inner work.
And I'm glad that you guys said that. And see, that was what I really wanted to bring up, because when you're not healed, or you don't focus on that, it's a wild jungle out here, and people will prey on your emotions. People will take advantage of you, and that's the thing. That's what I was saying. The ability to walk away is the highest self-love, because when you're able to say, I've told you multiple times that I'm not, me, for example, I do not do yelling. If there is yelling within a relationship, I check out and I'm out. I will give you a warning, but then I'm out, because I grew up in a household where there was constant yelling and berating. So if I see any of that tendency just naturally, I'm like, there's a low level of disrespect here.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be abusive if it's not checked. And I will try to check it in the most loving and gentle way. But if it is not well received, I check out and I leave the relationship.
Yeah.
I got a
And
question.
and from an evolved place to I think that moving from maybe sometimes we can be selfish when we're younger, and then like myself, hey, I'll admit I used to be really selfish, and now I really care about being a good person. I really care about giving. But I'm also very aware that if anybody is going to take advantage of my kind heart, they don't get it anymore. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So be a giving person, be a loving person, show up how you would in a relationship so they know who you are. But if anybody wants to take advantage of that, walk the hell away.